As software engineers, we always want to be delivering, always want to be achieving. We're interested in ways of either positioning ourselves for top tier performance review at our current job or getting ready to exit. And both of these involve collecting stories of achievement and of accomplishment. In the case of promo, you want to build a track record. In the case of exit, you want to build up those STAR method behavioral anecdotes, right? And so this is one of the reasons among many that quick wins can become seductive. Another reason is you might get blocked and you're just thinking, well, like, what should I do in the meantime? Let me get some quick wins. This is actually a great idea, but it can turn toxic. And so what do we do to get the benefits of quick wins without the toxic problem of quick wins? First of all, let me spell out what the toxic problem is. The toxic problem is the nickel and diming problem, or shiny object syndrome, where we have an Eisenhower matrix of things that are important and things that are urgent. And if we keep doing things that are not that important, but they are urgent, or if we keep doing things that are not that important, but they're easily deliverable, which is a different mental model than the Eisenhower matrix, but it's another thing that we sometimes reach for when we want a quick win. If we keep doing these small rocks, then we nickel and dime ourselves and we run out of time to do the thing that's more important. By not achieving those important results, these might be quarterly, biannual, or annual goals. By not hitting these markers, we're really giving ourselves a detriment for performance review. There are ways to work around this. If you want to exit the company, you can just basically select what you highlight and what you don't highlight. And so that becomes part of the solution. And the solution is to work backwards from the brag. Work backwards from the brag. We already have these two things that we're trying to do, which is to build accomplishment and achievement for performance review, build accomplishment and achievement for STAR method. And one of the ways that we can separate the wheat from the chaff and avoid the chaff, and we can grab a quick win when it's valuable and avoid a seeming quick win when it's easily deliverable, but it's actually not that valuable. How do we discriminate these appropriately? Work backwards from the brag. So literally think about, what if I did exit the company? What story do I want to tell over there? If you're doing something that you wouldn't even mention, like this doesn't even get into my list of my top 5 anecdotes. It wouldn't even contribute to my anecdote list, my behavioral story list, then like, why are you doing it? Similarly, for the performance review, if this wouldn't even make the cut of potentially being in like the top stories where I could get positive feedback or get accolades, does it demonstrate that I'm leveling up on the skill matrix? Like, what are we doing here? If you can't make justification from either direction, you probably shouldn't be doing it. There's one other brag to consider, and that is like all these random meetings. This could just be your sprint demo time if you have one of these. Or maybe it's your daily stand-up. You want to show that you're working on something. Or maybe you have like a tech all hands or an org monthly meeting. And so you want to show up to one of these other meetings and either brag or at least just appear to be doing something, as opposed to the other case where you're like, yeah, I'm blocked and I'm like sipping margaritas waiting around. That's a really bad look. So you want to be doing something. And that can be another reason to reach for a quick win. Let me give you my 2 cents on that. It's the same 2 cents, and I've basically given you the answer in the questions. If it's a demo, and if you want to get a quick win, make it a quick win that you can demo, right? So think about it from a demo perspective. Don't let it be one of these things where you like talk about how you did something, but there's like nothing that demos well. So bias towards something that demos well for these purposes. And in the case of just wanting to work on something, just wanting to appear occupied, this is actually a good case where you don't need a quick win. This is your opportunity to go for something that is more important and less urgent, or it might take longer. You can say, hey, I'm working on that thing, and it's actually much more impressive that that thing is important than it is that that thing is delivered. Because if you show up to daily stand-up, you're not being expected to ship on a daily basis. That's not the cadence. So some of this is just changing your bar of expectation. Yes, you do need to be doing something, but you don't need to be like merging PRs every day. So get your head out of that mindset. Sometimes you generally want to be shipping on a sprintly basis. Sometimes you don't even need to ship something all sprint. Now, I'm going to advocate for a 3 strikes rule on that. If something rolls over a sprint, that's okay. But going like multiple sprints without merging is like a red flag. That would be my opinion. This is just a rule of thumb. But I'm very happy to advocate that if you have like 2 or 3 user stories in your sprint, if you're blocked on one, the other one's already done, what do you do with your spare time? You could reach for a quick win, but actually this is a great opportunity to reach for that slow, important win. And that will also be fine. Like, that's a fine justification. Like, your engineering manager or whatever is like, oh, great, I understand. They delivered on this, they're waiting on this, and they're using their cycles to work on this important thing, as opposed to, fixing some lint rules or something that is like easily shipped, but like less important.